Hello, everyone. My name is Louis Scicli, and I want to welcome you to the show. Our show will cover local news, local events, and politics. Please look for new shows every week on our website and Facebook page. We want to thank everyone for your ongoing support, and we hope you enjoy the show. Good morning, everyone. We're back in the studio with Ann Parker today as our guest. Good morning, Ann.
Good morning, Louis.
Today we're going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to talk about the Lynchburg Treasure Hunt Group real fast and throw some information out there about that and maybe a little clue at the beginning. I know I asked
Lynchburg Treasure Hunt Group.
Lynchburg Treasure Hunt Group. I know I ask a lot of people to watch these whole videos and for the whole entire thing, but we're going to do it at the beginning this time. So I did post a map on the Lynchburg Treasure Hunt Group Facebook page yesterday.
Yep.
So that map is the area of where the certificate is hidden, somewhere in that area. And I'm going to narrow it down with some clues that are going to be on the Facebook page, the Lynchburg Treasure Hunt Group Facebook page. I'll post one today on there that will even narrow it down more and more and more. But that map shows the area of where the certificate is hidden so everyone knows. The first map I put out was similar to that one without the businesses, and I wanted to kind of like speed it up a little bit. So I was planning on throwing businesses in there every once in a while until we got down to where it was. But I said, you know what? Let me just throw this map out here that has all the businesses and throw out some hints to guide them. So that's what's happening with the Lynchburg Treasure Hunt Group, everybody. So Ann's here. We got some stuff to go over today. Lots of stuff. We always have more stuff than we have time. That's the problem with these podcasts. We try to keep them short, but sometimes we have a lot of information, so we're going to try to maybe start splitting them up here soon and do them in whole segments, like one thing for the whole podcast, one subject. We got a little floofy going there?
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, so what do you got for us, Ann?
All kinds of things today, guys. On every possible subject. So I am going to be referring to my phone a lot, a few things that I saw and have posted on my Facebook pages, and then a lot on Telegram. If you guys are not on Telegram, I highly recommend it. And then, of course, organically find things that you want to follow, people you want to follow, and, subjects that interest you.
Now, is Telegram just a more secure...
Telegram is supposed to be encrypted, and I will tell you it's an act of Congress for me to get information out of there and be able to share it with others. So it is also supposed to be supposed to be not censored, but it is censored. And of course, there are, professionally paid for trolls and hackers that go in there and drop like 15 pictures of General Flynn in a row, so you get frustrated with that page, So everyone needs to be patient. We all know that if it's connected to the internet, anyone can hack anything.
And that's what they do all day long, every day.
All day long. Yeah. And if you want to mention the Amazon thing you talked to me about this morning.
I won't say who told me because I don't want to throw that out there. But
Wasn't me.
Yep. Someone did say that that they heard that Amazon's server went down. Some part of their business, their server, and it affected more than just Amazon. It affected actually a bunch of different companies. And I know one that it affected because I got an email. I have the Ring system at my house for security. And I got an email that said that the service is down right now due to a server that's provided to us is not working.
So they must use AWS, Amazon.
It was. That's what it was. So it's back up now, but it was down. So and they're not saying it was hacked or anything, so I don't want to throw that out there, but it kind of looks really suspicious. And I told you
I'm confident that it's the White Hats doing their transfer over of
you were telling
power
me
and control. Yeah.
Tell them a little bit about what you're talking about, because I think they'd be interested.
Yeah, so for those of you who might be deep in the rabbit hole, as we say, or at least curious about following the White Rabbit, I'll just mention those things. If you're curious about what those are, feel free to reach out to me personally. I don't want to drop too much because it can be overwhelming.
But we want to start segments with that.
We are.
I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah, we absolutely are. And that's what we'll do maybe, next week, at least one before Christmas. Yeah. We'll do a lot more deep dive on
the whole show just on that.
Yeah, on the deep state corruption.
Yeah. Awesome.
At the government level, religious corruption. There's a lot.
See, I think that's very interesting stuff.
Human trafficking, it's so much.
And again, everyone, if it's something that Ann knows a lot about, but do your own research too. We always say that.
Sure,
so
absolutely.
Listen to the show, what she talks about, and if you are skeptical, do your own research on it. But she's got a lot of information that she's talked to me about. And I did go back and looked at some of the stuff, not all of it, because there's a lot.
Yeah, some can't be confirmed. You just have to.
I've seen the ones that you had spoke to me were confirmed.
Yeah, normally if I say it on something public, then it's from, at least a reliable source, whether their sources, sometimes you can't follow the source all the way back because obviously a lot of it's confidential.
Yeah. But the stuff that you told me, I did look at.
And a lot of it makes sense. And then the week after we talk about it, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did look at the stuff, though, and it was true. So next week, let's try to plan that next week, do a segment just on that.
Yep.
And let her, and I guarantee we're going to get a lot of viewers for that because they're going to be interested. It's very cool, actually, the stuff. So
lot of. Yeah. So it'll be fun. So please stay tuned for next week. But
absolutely.
I showed this, it's a poster that someone who was protesting against vaccine mandates at their place of employment. I do not have a reference to where this was. It actually is just the solid photo that was posted on, I believe, Earth Genesis 2.0, which is a page I really like to follow on Telegram. And it says, if fully vaccinated people, I'll throw in a couple words so it makes more sense. If fully vaccinated people can get COVID and spread COVID, why aren't they losing their jobs too?
That's right.
And some of these just common sense things. People are just watching mainstream media, which is going down. If you guys haven't know, Chris Cuomo got officially fired from CNN. He also got fired from his Sirius XM station, and I think he's lost every other possible contract that makes him money for his name and what he says. So he's circling the drain, and now he's suing CNN. So, and either the producer or the CEO of CNN apparently was complicit in him using their resources to dig up dirt on the women who had accused his brother of sexual inappropriateness or harassment, whatever. So it's coming out. People they're finally exposing the media for what truly they are. I saw a meme one day, again, no resource for reference for this meme, that said, once you realize that reporters are paid actors, you'll understand.
And they are. And every one of them.
I know I've mentioned it before, but Research Project Mockingbird. And you will see it was actually created in World War II.
Keep this for our show.
World War II. Okay. World War II. I'll bring a lot on it then.
All right, yeah.
World War II, where basically all of the media is owned by 6 major companies, and I'm talking internationally.
All right, let's.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. So let's go back to the vaccine thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that alone, I want to talk to you after the show about that too.
Yeah, so that I'm not scrolling 15,000 times during our podcast today, I won't pull up absolutely everything that I do have saved, but happy to share with anybody who would like to know.
See, that's neat stuff vaccine, about that, because people don't know all that stuff.
Oh my gosh, so crazy stuff. So regarding the vaccinations, I have some really great news that I shared on my Facebook page personally, my school board page, and my Army of Parents, Campbell County Army of Parents page. And if they... Wow.
Is this something they may take down, though?
Yeah. Look, I just had it right here. It said, post has been hidden. You won't be...
See, they do that. Yep.
Want to see this? You are kidding me.
Nope, that's what they
We're
do.
sorry, there's a technical problem.
Yeah, the technical problem is called the delete.
You've got to be kidding me.
They do it all the time.
I just shared this on Facebook this morning. So basically what it is, guys, and I will do research on this, see if it's on my other pages without you guys having to spend the time watching me check my other pages, that the VDH, Virginia Department of Health, has backed off of vaccine mandates for students for pre-K to 12th grade. Because of the public comment period, which you can find on Town Hall, I believe it's townhallva.gov. Anyway, search Virginia Town Hall and check that page I was mentioning to you before we started. We need to encourage everyone to check that website weekly. I think they do the posts monthly, but just to get into the habit, it's broken down. It's the easiest way to find out what they're doing in Richmond before they do it. That's where it is.
Good.
Town Hall.
Definitely.
I believe it's va.gov, and it's broken down by category. So it might be under health department, it might be under education, all the different departments in Richmond. It's broken down, and then you can click on it and see if it was a petition, if it's a proposed bill, those types of things, and there's public comments. So public comments are working. I posted that we are winning 94%. So this was a teacher somewhere in Northern Virginia had put a petition into the Department of Health saying it's not fair for her and her daughter to enter school in fear for their life of COVID. Okay, that's basically what it said. And they wanted them to roll out the vaccine mandate for students and teachers. So public comments, 94% of the public comments were against the vaccine mandate in schools. So the Department of Health has pulled back on that. They are not initiating at this moment, and that was just announced the last day or two, and I had shared it, and I will share it again, but please check it out. So public comments are huge. There's also currently, I'm not going to scroll back and make you guys watch, but I just posted it earlier this week. There is an open public comment. It started on the 5th, so check my 5th or 6th date posts on my Ann Parker page, my Ann Parker Campbell County School Board, Timberlake District page, or Campbell County Army of Parents page. Should be on all three. It is a public comment period for the culturally responsive and inclusive training class that they're trying to make mandatory for our school teachers, which basically is teaching the kids the teachers how to indoctrinate our children. Okay, it's totally critical race theory, socialism, Marxism, all wrapped into a class, and requiring our teachers to get like our continuing education for real estate. It's going to be considered continuing education to keep your teacher's license.
I'm just curious to know.
Public comment through January 5th, we need to light it up and tell them we do not want this to be why should our teachers have anything else to do? They are already slammed with everything they have to do. They should not be trained how to teach our children to be Marxist and hate America.
And they've already pulled it off Facebook. That fast. You just put it on this morning?
They pulled the one about the Virginia Department of Health not going forward with the vaccine mandate.
That one they pulled. You just posted it this morning.
I just pulled it up before we started the podcast on my Facebook page so I could scroll down it, and it is missing.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Unbelievable.
Now, so I hit the little button Y, right, and it gave me a Y. Look,
what's it saying now?
It's back on my page, but I wonder if you can see it.
I guarantee you can't.
I bet you all the money in the world, no one else can see it now.
And we'll look after. I guarantee it. That's what they do.
Telling you guys, if you think that your posts are being seen just because a few people click on it, let me just assure you that if Facebook doesn't like it, they're only allowing a certain number of people to see it, so you feel like it is public, but it's not out there for public consumption. I promise you, it's really crazy.
Yep.
So vaccines and the vaccine mandates. Again, we should never have had them. They should never exist. There is no executive order signed at the White House. I checked. I think it's been 2 weeks now, I'll be honest, that since I've checked for the executive orders on the whitehouse.gov website. Still not there. It was a press release, and they are pushing it. I saw Glenn Beck actually speaking on Tucker last night. And he was talking about how there's documentation, and I watched his special a couple weeks ago. It was 2 hours long, started at 9 o'clock at night, I believe. After that meeting that we had with the other local grassroots movements, where we're all getting together here locally, which was awesome. And, hopefully we'll continue to help each other out and grow all of our movements. And he has documented proof that the United States signed an agreement with Moderna, who has never, to this day, ever had a vaccine approved by the FDA. Not one ever, still not ever FDA approved. The one that people are getting in their arms, not FDA approved. Emergency use authorization approved, okay? In December of 2019, before they even announced to us that COVID-19 was a thing and that it was supposedly coming. Now, why would they have signed this? They started the negotiations in 2015. They signed the contract in December of 2019. And then in January, it's announced that this is a thing. If people, this is all factual information that you can find. There's patent in the U.S. Patent Office for COVID-19 from 2015. You can find this information. It just blows my mind. Still to this day, no scientist has been able to successfully isolate, which means take out all the other human goo and just have a COVID-19 or a SARS-CoV-2 protein. Well, if you don't have that, how can you test for it? And if you don't have that, how can you vaccinate against it? And it just blows my mind. There's so many more common sense things that really I look in the mirror, I'm like, Ann, how the heck did you not think of that? How did you not think of that? You guys have heard me before. What woke me up to this was, I grew up in a medical household. My son works on viruses for a living at Cornell, at Memorial Sloan Kettering before that, and at the University of Miami in Ohio before that. He's worked on viruses for years. I know more about them than I ever wanted to know. And I know what happens to the bacteria in our stomach when we eat, and I didn't want to know that either. I didn't want to know there's bacteria living in my stomach and on my skin and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to know all that. No more than I wanted to know. So with this virus and with the inoculations, they're supposed to put a live flu virus in you for your body, in your flu vaccine, for your body to recognize it as foreign and your antibodies to attack it and get it out of your system, okay? You can't do that for SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19 because you don't have it. You don't have the live virus. So what in the heck are we putting?
Yeah, what
in the heck? And so I don't want to be negative today because there is a lot of negative out there about the vaccines. Well, about the VAERS report. So I will tell you this. And again, it would take me massive scrolling to find it. When I'm saving things for this, so much is happening every day, guys. It's almost impossible to keep up. But many folks out here listening actually may know someone who had an unexpected miscarriage and they were vaccinated. There's a detailed study that has been published multiple places, especially if you're on Telegram, you can find it in multiple pages that, credible, peer-reviewed, the whole thing. This is just devastating to hear, okay, guys? In the first 20 weeks, in the first 6 weeks, 5% natural selection miscarriages, okay? The vaccinations, 85% of pregnant women who are vaccinated in the first 20 weeks have 85 to 91% have a miscarriage.
That's high, very high.
That's almost 100%.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
And the gentleman from the CDC's last name was, like Hakatashi or something like that. Seriously, it was I wouldn't be able to pronounce it even if it was in front of me. They proved that he used erroneous information, like he used tests for people who were post 20 weeks vaccinated in the study in order for them to say that it's safe for pregnant women when the results, the study was supposed to be for women up to the 20th week. If they were vaccinated up to the 20th week.
So he falsified the results.
Oh my Lord, it's horrible.
Is he in jail now, hopefully? Or?
Oh, Fauci's not in jail.
Oh, yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Of course, let's fast forward to next week. That's not the real Fauci.
All right,
you can pull up pictures of him from like a year ago and then watch him live or supposedly live.
That's right? Deep. You're saying that's not him.
Nope. There's all kinds of we all have body doubles. I can't tell you how many times people think they know me here in Lynchburg.
People are going to think of that and go, what are you talking? Well, go look and match up the photos. I haven't done it yet.
Oh my Lord.
That's the first I heard of that.
I learned they started, I've seen a truly on a television screen impressive, but in person probably not impressive, full-blown clone / cyborg that was built in 1946. So if they were almost convincing in 46, what the heck did you see? They actually put it on the mainstream media news just the other day of the new robot. I mean, the facial expressions are absolutely out of control. But while they're putting it on mainstream media, it just has the face, and then you see all the rest is mechanical. Well, when they cover that all with whatever they're covering it with, you would be hard pressed to tell the difference.
So you're not saying he's a robot?
I'm not saying that, but it could be.
Okay. All right.
But I believe it's body double. I mean, we all have them. I mean, I have people, I literally, when I first moved here, I went to Winn-Dixie when it was still here on Timberlake Road to buy cupcakes for my oldest son, Joe's class. And the lady behind the counter said, "Don't shake them, right?" And I'm thinking, what the hell? Why would you shake cupcakes, right? I don't understand. And she goes, "Well, last time apparently the bag boy, shook them and frosting got on the top." And I'm like, "Man, this is the first time I've ever been in this store. I just moved here."
Yeah.
My ex-husband worked at GE Financial downtown, called me. You could hear on his phone, like when your spouse calls you, you can tell they're just shook, even on the phone. And he said, were you in GE Financial building today for something? And I'm like, no. Why? Why I wouldn't be? I'm on Timberlake Road's pretty much been my whole life since I've lived here, right? And maybe 221 when I was at Remax, when it was back on that side of town. I said, absolutely not. He said, I swear the elevator opened and you walked out and walked straight past me. I swear to God, it was you. My husband. And we'd been married for 4 or 5 years at that time.
You got a twin.
Multiples, apparently. So everyone has them, and they do use body doubles. Celebrities use them. All types of politicians use them for their security.
So they put someone else at risk.
Yeah.
Put the body double in and let him get shot.
So we'll fast forward to next week. I believe that Fauci and Birx have been Gitmo'd, as we call it. Okay. So for those
I'm excited about next week's show. So
he just wants to go right into the funky stuff. He totally wants to go in.
I think it's going to be cool. So everybody, next week, when are we going to do it? Thursday?
Yeah, we can do Thursday.
Next Thursday, everybody. Be looking for it in the afternoon on Thursday, next Thursday.
All right, cool. So a little good news, a little other good news. I know you said, of course, bad news sells, right? But good news.
That's what it seems to work.
I see this post about this time every year, and I always repost it because I just think it's cool. Did you know that chapstick was invented in Lynchburg?
You told me that, and that
that's
blows
so cool.
me away. The original chapstick.
Yep.
In Lynchburg.
Chapstick. Yep. Dr. Charles Brown Fleet of the town of Lynchburg pioneered this project.
Is there another town of Lynchburg? Maybe it's not.
No, this is ours, okay. Virginia. Right. Yeah, no, it was made. I was told it was made in the. It's not in this article, but I've been told before it was made in the building that's now Tritech off Grace Street.
Tell them about the whole situation if you got time.
Which one?
How they sold it for? How much the business sold for, and how much it's worth? And
what was that?
You
Which
told
business?
me the chapstick.
I don't have that info. Oh, that must have been one of your other sources.
Oh no, you know what? Cindy may have looked it up online or something. That's maybe what it was. It sold for like next to nothing, like for $5.
Yeah, back in the day.
And then that was worth billions.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's international, I would say, by now, right? With all those skiers and stuff doing their chapstick commercials. Remember that?
And that's the original one from Lynchburg.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it is cool. We've got some cool history here. So I'm going to throw in some school board stuff, and then we'll so let me finish on the vaccine mandate. Yeah. Everybody knows, or if you don't know, that when we say federal court, a lot of these are federal courts in a state, but I'm learning that as long as it's a federal court, it is, a blanketed decision because it's federal, obviously. So we know that the mandate was halted for government contractors. I believe I saw something last night, but I wasn't able to confirm it, that it was halted for all government employees or any outreach of government employees. So we need to look into that today, guys, because that's huge. I can't tell you how many people who actually work for the government, don't even live in Virginia, have reached out to me asking me for help on how they can avoid having to take this vaccine. And the issue is nobody wants to push it. Who wants to get into a controversy with their boss, right? Especially in Virginia where, they can fire you for no reason. So, nobody wants to go up to the boss and say, show me the documentation that backs up this new policy. Show me the science. Show me why it's more important for me to take this than to not take this in order to stay employed here. That's a tough conversation to have, and you could be fired on the spot in Virginia.
Yeah, they don't care no more about your rights because, the religious exempt thing. Mm-hmm. I know someone that tried and told them about that, and they listen, but I don't think they're going to listen. They're going to just basically say, you either got this date to do it, or you can't work here. Yeah. So all these things that you thought,
and there's no law
for your protection,
no law anywhere that says that. Not at the state level or the federal level. It was a press release that Biden said that he was going after, and then he pushed OSHA, right? And the OSHA is what's been halted at the federal court level. So if your company falls under OSHA, they cannot impose that upon you, those fines for vaccinating, if you have 100 employees or less. I just had someone tell me that a local bank was doing it. Well, I know they have over 100 employees, but are you kidding me? See ya. Yeah, that's and I have an account there, and I won't very soon because even if they end up not doing it, for them to even be considering that, I'm not doing business with people like that. I actually have a lunch appointment today. We've moved it twice because certain restaurants are still requiring masks. So I said, well, let's show up here, and if they ask us to wear a mask, we'll just leave till we find a place that doesn't ask us to wear one.
Most of the restaurants around here don't require them, though, now. That I'm seeing.
It all depends on
the
how liberal the manager is.
I got you.
Yeah.
You know,
and see ya.
Yeah.
I want to mention, because I talked to you about this, I don't believe this was on the podcast, I may have mentioned it last week, that South Africa, I think I mentioned last week on November 24th, South Africa, and here's another, this is all of Africa, okay, came out, this is Children's Health Defense. If you're not following Children's Health Defense, follow it. This is, I know I've mentioned it before, this is Robert Kennedy Jr.'s whole foundation against vaccines. He's been pushing against all vaccines for a very, very long time. And I can't even go into the children's vaccines and my son's autism, or else I'll just break down here on the radio. But it took me a long time to forgive myself for believing the government on that one. And still am having trouble with that. So those things are going to go. They're going to go. It might take us a little longer, but they're freaking going, people. All of this requirements to put these poisons in our body for things that are eradicated, it's all for money. So I do want to say, so Children's Health Defense, follow them. Website, Telegram, Facebook, wherever you are, the Instagrams, all the other little places. I don't Twitter or any of those things, but the Children's Health Defense, and I've heard this many sources, but this is the article. Africa itself, all of Africa, not just South Africa, the whole continent, 17.4%, 46% of the world's population. Okay, so the continent of Africa has 17+% of the entire world's population, but only 3% of the world's COVID deaths. That's a huge disparaging, what words they say? Disparate impact. Yeah. That's what the liberals like to call crap like that, right? So only 3% of the entire continent had COVID deaths. Well, what I had mentioned to you last week, on the 24th, apparently, of November, South Africa notified Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson to not send any more vaccines because less than 6% of their population had ever even tested positive, and only 12% of their population had voluntarily taken the vaccine. They had more than they needed. They didn't want any more. 2 days later, the World Health Organization, which is corrupt as hell, I guess I'm allowed to say hell.
Yeah,
I've said it twice now, so and that, we're all grown people. Yeah. We're all adults here. Yeah. That the World Health Organization then said that there was a massive breakout of COVID cases in South Africa, and that they wanted everyone to impose a travel ban. And that same day, of course, our current White House, which I also feel is full of body doubles, that are being puppeteered. That
I think the real people are being puppeteered.
We did the travel ban to South Africa same day. Okay, so let me think. The healthiest continent on the planet, South Africa, healthier than the overall continent of Africa, but you're not allowed to travel there, or they're not allowed to travel here. It's not about your health; it's about the truth. Because they don't want us to know. They don't want our friends. I have friends in Roanoke who are from South Africa. So now they can't go visit their families for Christmas, and their families can't come here and visit, because then they'll spread the truth. That it's just ridiculous. Now, I do know people close to me who've been very ill. My secretary right now is very ill. She has double pneumonia. I am so proud of Gretna's hospital services for not just jumping on the COVID bandwagon and telling her she had COVID. It's pneumonia. The majority of it is pneumonia. For those of you who are like, oh no, I had COVID. Yes, you had a positive test for COVID. Again, how do we know it was positive? Also, do your research. SARS-CoV-1 and SARS-CoV-2 are supposedly 79% the same, okay? And that's on the CDC website. SARS-CoV-1 is pneumonia. So what does that make SARS-CoV-2, which is COVID-19? It just blows my mind.
And what gets me also about the flu this past year, how many reported?
1,300, and it's usually 38 million.
How many?
And guess how many COVID? 38 million COVID cases.
So how many?
And then still false positives.
How many flu cases you said?
1,300. It's either
If
13
anybody
or
can't-
1600. It's absolutely ridiculous, Louis. It's ridiculous. And then, I want to tell you about the saliva thing. I've always said from the beginning, why? Any test we've ever had, except for strep.
So have we cured?
stuck this-
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you
Yeah.
off, but have we cured
The
pneumonia?
flu?
The flu?
No.
Then
So
1,300
guess
out
what?
of the
How
whole
many
population.
times?
It seems like it's
so that's the other thing too. If we still have to get vaccinated for the flu every flipping year,
Yeah.
right?
Which I never
And
do,
we're using
but-
last year's virus because they don't have this year's.
Yeah.
So you're using last year's. This is as per my son who does this for a living. The most deadly strain from last year is what they use this year because it takes that long to make it, right? It just blows my mind that people think that we have an effective vaccine. Now, I do get upset when I say, when they say that, Trump pushed the vaccine. And when I hear him say it, it does upset me because I'm like, wait a minute. But then I've also heard that a lot of it is saline, that I've seen multiple witness testimonies on other podcasts that show people opening boxes of vaccines. These are pharmacists and doctors opening these vaccines and whistleblowing that they're labeled 1, 2, and 3. And that 1 is saline, 2 is the mRNA, and 3 is the mRNA-GO, which is the graphene oxide, which is what's killing people.
Mm-hmm.
And that there's also whistleblowers out there who have said that all politicians received vial 1, and that's the last number on the vial. So if you do choose to get this, ask to see the vial.
Yeah.
And look at the last number on the barcode.
Will they show it to you? Probably not.
And think about it. Why would you go? So 1 is saline. Why would you go sign up just to get some saline?
What I'm
Woohoo.
saying is they're not going to show you the bottle, probably.
Probably not. Yeah. And then I asked a pharmacist, because I've seen multiple pharmacists pull out the paperwork that goes with the vaccines. Mm-hmm. And just because we've said it so often, this is going to get scrubbed off YouTube, by the way.
Probably.
So anyway,
Probably.
I should have been using code words. I apologize.
That's all right. We'll
We're
keep
not
it
big
on
enough
this.
to get scrubbed.
I got backups. I'll just keep
Yeah.
reposting it somehow.
Okay, cool. That it's blank. Instead of the whole laundry list of, warnings and ingredients. Of course, I've said this before. They do not have to publish or give you the ingredients until it's fully FDA approved, and that's how they're getting away with it.
Okay.
And the only reason we're still under emergency use authorization is because they have not lifted the pandemic state of emergency. So that's why, and we never even got into the Omicron variant, and we're at 32 minutes. So I'm going to say it very quickly. The Omicron variant is what they used against South Africa. Multiple people, and there's multiple, I have multiple on my phone, references, doctors. The Omicron variant is supposedly one. I don't know how you can actually even decide that there is one, right? I mean, good luck with that, because you can't even figure out where COVID-19 is. So how can you figure out what these variants are? Anyway, the benefit for Omicron is this. It's supposedly, and it's being billed this way on the news, the most highly contagious variant so far. Okay? What they're not telling you on the news and what the doctors are saying, it is the least harmful. It only causes fatigue and joint pain. It does not make you sick. It doesn't fill your lungs with fluid. It's not causing heart attacks, death, anything like that. So more and more doctors are coming out and saying, let's just let it go. Let it go. Let everyone get it so that we all get the antibodies. Who cares if you're tired and have joint pain for 2 days? Then you have the antibodies against any other variant of this supposed disease or virus. So let's let it flow. And the issue is this, is with that information out there, then watch CBS, ABC, and NBC talk about how it's really contagious and we need to lock our country down, but they won't tell you how very passive this variant is.
Yeah. All I can say about all this information that we're giving everyone out here, do your own research. These are
Absolutely.
just our opinions. We're not doctors.
Well, and they're not even opinions. I'm forwarding information that other people have posted.
Okay, so we're giving you information.
Information. This is other.
I'm just trying to keep our podcast from being deleted.
Yeah, for sure.
This
Well,
thing,
yeah,
that's
it's
telling
definitely
you.
opinion.
Yeah, this is opinion. This is
Because some
not.
people would scroll past and be like, "Oh, psh, you know, that
So
can't be
we're not
true."
telling anybody to get or not to get the vaccine. That's up to you. That's your choice. It's all on you. So do your own research.
So I'm gonna throw this.
Let's try to keep our podcast from being
This
deleted.
is a quote from Vladimir Putin.
Oh Lord.
That the Omicron variant may be a live COVID vaccine, which is what I just said. May triggers milder symptoms and will prevent other variants.
Yeah.
And for those of you who think Putin's a bad guy, you're following the wrong people.
Is that next week's podcast?
Sure.
Probably. Okay. All right, we're going to be wrapping.
Russia, I'll just follow it just real quick. Russia is a completely independent country now. They're not tied to any of the world banks any longer. They're on a gold-backed system, and they are operating in the form of a republic. It is not communist.
Okay.
Putin's a good guy. That's why he and Trump got along so well.
All right. Again, everyone, do your own research. Thank you, Ann, for all the information. Next week, we're going to have a lot of other stuff that we're going to talk about.
Didn't even get to talk about school board. School board meeting Monday night.
Yeah, hit that real quick.
Bedford County School Board meeting tonight. Check out my Facebook page, Ann Parker, or Ann Parker, Campbell County School Board, Timberlake District, or Bedford Freedom Fighters. They did move it to a larger venue. Please come out. Monday is back at Rustburg High School for Campbell County. We need bodies there. The more people that show up, the more they're paying attention. Things are happening. Good things are happening. Please come out and join us.
Definitely. And be looking next week for the next podcast that we're going to put out because it's going to be very entertaining, I'm sure. Okay. And Lynchburg Treasure Hunt Group, keep in mind, I did post like I said at the beginning, a map. Be looking at that map. I'm going to post a clue today that's going to relate to that map some way. So be looking for that too as well. And everyone, thank you for tuning in, listening, watching us, and supporting us. Thanks to all the police, the fire, first responders, military, and all of you good people out there. So we'll see you next week. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.